So going into the new year can feel a lot like we're leaving our loved one behind. It's a difficult element of the grief journey that we face every December 31st. And so let's walk together and I'll share with you how to approach the new year so that you feel like your loved one is always with you, even if you've been grieving for some time. Hey friend, welcome back to Grief Questions Answered. I'm Eric, and it's my goal with these videos to share everything I've learned about how to survive, find support in the loneliness of grief, and how to intentionally get back up and live beyond the loss of a loved one. If this grief tip doesn't help you today, I am confident it can and will help you at some point in the future, so be sure to save this video to watch later on. Now, today's question comes from Tracie, who asked me, how do I go into the new year? I feel like I'm leaving them behind. And this is such a good question, Tracie, because this is a really powerful time of year for a lot of people. And when we're approaching the end of one year and going into the new year as someone who is grieving, it can be both a blessing and carry with it a feeling of being a curse too. It's a blessing because we simply wanted the holidays to go by as fast as possible, and maybe we're on the other side of the harder part of that. But then it also feels like a curse because now that the new year is approaching, we feel like time is pulling us further and further away from our loved one, especially if this is the first year without them. And when I lost my daughter Zoe, I counted the weeks at first. And because of my brain fog, it was one of the only things I could remember at the time. And as the weeks continued to come and go, I felt like I was being pulled further and further away from Zoe. It's kind of like pulling away from a train station and your loved one is on the platform and they can't go with you. You're feeling that pull every second that goes by. And it can feel like despair and worry and sadness and regret and a whole bunch of other emotions that can come up. And so for me, when I sat down and I talked about this with my coach, about those heavy feelings of leaving Zoe behind, she reminded me that while time was pulling me forward, I wasn't leaving Zoe behind because she was always with me to begin with. And in a moment's notice, I could think of something wonderful about Zoe and smile, and I could feel her energy. And she reminded me also that in order to feel that, I had to be present, because when I thought about the past, it made me depressed. And when I tried to think about the future and what was next, it made me anxious. You see, it's like this. You can't change what happened, but you can change what happens next. And that decision takes place in the present moment only. So let's try that, okay? I'd like you to take a few seconds and think of a wonderful memory of your loved one. Nothing hurtful, nothing sad, but something that warms your heart. What is that memory? It could be something funny. It could be something that's beautiful and comforting to you. But think about that for a moment and think about them. And I want you to pay attention to that warmth in your heart. Feel that. You're feeling them with you right now. My friends, it's been 10 years since I lost Zoe, and when I do this exercise, I still feel her energy as strongly as I did as when she was here. As that warmth, I'm focusing on that moment right here and right now, because that's all we ever have access to at any time anyway. So Tracie, this is how you keep your loved one with you all of the time. We're not leaving them behind because they were never really gone from your heart. Their physical presence is no longer felt, but their presence will always be in your heart. And so it's important to remember that it's okay to feel this mix of emotions as you enter the new year. Your loved one may be physically gone, but their impact on your life can continue in the memories that you shared. And you carry on with the love for them that will never die and time cannot erase. So as always, I hope this helps. Do you have a question about grief that I can answer for you? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't done so yet, click that subscribe button down below, as this is one of the best ways to get notified of new videos just like this and to show support for the channel. So let's continue to walk together, and I'll see you in next week's video.